Hello and welcome to the Tower of God New World video. And the new character came out, Yasratcha. I wasn't sure if I should make a first impression video off of him because he seems really weird. Like I didn't know if he was going to be a good character or a bad character. But his kit's out now. I've looked at it, I thought about it, and we could talk about it. So a little bit info about Yasratcha while we do the skill preview is that he is part of the Traumaray family, right? And he is the commander of Zahard, and he is a green assassin, which is honestly kind of interesting. I will not lie. We already played the scene. Let me actually show the cutscene. But he is a very okay. If you want to know a little about him, he's kind of like Yama, but a little bit stronger. You know, he's basically Yama's biggest op. There's a lot of history between him and Yama. He is a villain. He is a demon. He was a problem for a large part of Tower of God. But this is also, they could probably release like a full-blown like full transformation or mimicry as they call it in this game of him. But just know that he's a very strong character. He's a very, I wouldn't say he's a hype character, but he's definitely a very important character in the show. But less about him. Let's talk about the kid, right? Let's talk about what he came here for. Like I said before, he is an assassin, a green assassin. He's also a mage, which is very important. And it's okay. I don't know. When I think of assassins, I don't think of magic assassins, but he's a magic assassin. But either way, let's talk about his kit. And because he's an assassin, just hopefully he'll be a good one. The thing about assassins is that they age really, really quickly. And that's the biggest problem with assassins. Like, you don't really see people use assassins anymore, right? But either way, let's talk with his passive, and it's called Feline Sight. At the start of battle, Yasratcha inflicts the mark of Feline Sight on the enemy in the position mirroring his, which is really good. Basically, you can pick and choose who you're trying to, like, quote-unquote assassinate, right? The marked target receives laceration with each damage dealt by Yasratcha, has the magic resistance decreased by 20%. This is level 5, by the way, which is really strong. Stacks of 5 cannot be removed by debuff removal skills, okay? Imagine it being kind of like, what's her name? I'm saying Yihua like I'm crazy. But Huarian's passive, where like they mark someone, same thing. Like you mark someone and they get a bunch of debuffs once they get marked. And basically all of Yasratcha's passive is based on them getting marked. Okay? And they get a resistance decrease and they can stack it to 5 times, which is pretty strong. And when the marked target is killed, Yasratcha becomes invincible for 3 seconds, inflicts the mark again on an enemy with the lowest HP and casts Daze. Okay, Daze is really good, you know, and Daze is this skill, right? But from my understanding, I don't have him yet, so I have to do it before experimentation. But his passive is linked with Daze, which we're going to talk about now, okay? So, Yasratcha fascinates the enemy with the mark of Feline. That's this passive that decreases them, decreases their resistances. So the people get marked by that attack, basically. 5 seconds deals 200 of his attack as damage 4 times. So you hit them 4 times with that assassination skills. That's whatever. But this is where it gets crazy. A familiar cat is summoned where the target was standing, provoking nearby enemies every second for 5 seconds. Okay, we love some good provoke. And while using the skill, he actually cannot be targeted for attack, and he recovers 500 energy while standing still. Okay, which is really good. Because assassins really are really squishy. So being able to not be targeted means you only really be hit by AoEs, which is very, very strong. But yeah, the fact that you cannot be like touched really good. Provoking is a really strong ability. Provoking on an assassin unit is really, really interesting. Really gives a lot of options to how you want to build Yasratcha, which I'll get into later. But also recovering energy is really good because you can spam ult. You know, you get it, right? And this is another skill right here, purple flash strike. Yasratcha deals damage equal to 500 of his attack and steals 200 energy, which goes really set with another build that you can do with him because he, steals energy. Then a gigantic sentry claw appears and scratches the target, dealing 300% of attack damage 4 times and stealing energy 100 times each. I told y'all, when the Mago set came out, I said they're going to start releasing characters that works with energy, right? There's so much energy meta right now that I think this is where this meta is going through, and you can have pretty variety of sets with this guy. Actually, I'm really liking his kit, right? And let's go to his ult. Yasratcha uses mimicry for the right arm, which is like the same transformation thing the Yama has. While being invincible, fires Sinshu Whirlwind forward, deal damage equal to 1,600 of his attack to enemies within the range and stunning them for 3 seconds. Whoa. He deals 50% of the attack's max HP as additional damage for each attack stack of laceration on the target and resets the stack. So I don't really know how like the stacking works. The way that it's written here, it seems like it's only one stack, right? At the start of battle, inflicts the mark of Steel Line. The mark tag receives a laceration for each damage dealt by okay, yeah. So every hit that he gets a bit of the passive. He can stack it 5 times. So okay, that's cool. So which is really strong, right? So if you can stack it 5 times, that means you can get up to like 60% damage stack increase, which is really, really strong. Anyways, and it resets after you use the ult. That's cool. And also for 10 seconds while the mimicry of the right arm lasts, his swiftness increases by 40 and lifesteal increases by 80%. Lifesteal is whatever, I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't really matter. Swiftness is really good, especially with assassins, because assassins are known to be fast, right? So that's really good. So okay, I know I look like I'm shocked like I did with this kid, but I promise you I read this kid, okay? But the way that it works essentially is that you stack this guy with the passive, right? And then once he gets hit by the passive, he'll debuff the enemy a lot, okay? Once that passive hits, with the enemy, you can choose because you can put him on any slot and the character that he's opposite of will get hit by that passive straight away. They get hit by days, right? You get hit by days. Also, like when he kills an enemy, he becomes invincible for a couple seconds, and which just gets buffed also with the revolution, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, so you come up, you'll target someone, and then once you target that person, the cat will come in. The cat will come in and it'll provoke the enemies. So you won't be hit by them, essentially. And I think a lot of the attacks are AoE too. So don't just think that it's only one person. But I think that's AoE, so it's enemies. So you can have several people attracted to that cat. Okay, that sounds weird. But you get what I mean, right? In between, he'll do the purple flash, which does energy steal. I honestly feel like they did this skill just so you can have a specific set on him. And then the ult stuns. First impressions of this character, he does a lot, but essentially this is basically just one thing. And the stunning is also really, really cool. And which is actually, it's really interesting that this character isn't really focused on the ult, which is a very nice change because a lot of characters were very ult heavy. This character isn't, but he buffs so much based off his revolution that you kind of do want him maxed out, obviously. But I don't think he is too dupe dependent. But either way, let's look at his exclusive equipment to see how. This is what most people will have when you get the character, right? Gashua magic pierce increased by 40% from when using days. That's really strong. That means that the attack that you get from the like assassin, like the cat, that's the cat. This is the cat. Just keep in mind that this is on top of the resistance of the marked target. So because since they're targeted and they're already marked, they're already getting like a stupid amount of magic resistance on top of the increased magical pierce from the cat attack. And here's another daze. Daze is enhanced, making fascination always land and unremovable by status effect and removal skills. That's really, really strong. Unremovable by status effect means that you can't be debuffed. There's a lot of enemies that remove debuffs. So that's very good that you can actually, have that on your repertoire. And then also, the fact that it's always land is huge. Okay, y'all don't understand how big this is. Okay, especially when you're doing assassins because accuracy is a really big thing. And if you've been playing the game for a long time, you do know how important accuracy is. Accuracy means obviously that you can hit the target, but the higher you go, the higher the stats, right? So having a high accuracy is really big, especially with assassins because assassins don't have high accuracy. This is a bit of thing since the beginning of the game. So making sure that daze always lands is actually really, really big. Like y'all don't understand how big that is because part of the reasons why people don't use assassins is that the accuracy is so goddamn low, right? Anyways, that solves that problem of him being an assassin automatically, which makes him a lot more valuable than a lot of assassins just based off that skill. And then Yasha becomes immune to status effect while using daze, okay? Also really, really strong, okay? Can be debuffed while the cat is up. Yasratcha's special move, Pierce, increases by 40% each time the inflict of mark of feline sight. Okay, so not only do you get debuffed by the passive skill, okay, now your special move Pierce, which is basically the damage of your ult, This is like will do more damage. The highest stack this guy is, right? So not only are you getting 5 stacks of 20% magic resistance, okay, which is 100% magic resistance, if you guys needed to know. You also get like 50 billion buffs by the magic pierce, and yeah, it's crazy, right? So basically, yeah, it's really strong, okay? Now we look at his revolution, okay? His first revolution goes with his special skills, okay? Revolution 4, while Yasratcha finishes move purple dragon strike right arm mimicries lasts. Incoming damage is decreased by 50%. That's really good. We lost some survivability. I don't know how strong this is going to be. I think this is kind of an underrated revolution skill because it seems so simple. But like I said before, assassins aren't really known to be very tanky, so having some sort of like survivability is really nice. I wish they did a little bit more, but I'm not gonna lie, that's not bad at all. Especially if you have him at Revolution 4. He'll be ulting a lot quicker. Okay. Anyways, the next one. Feline Sight. This is like the revolution for the passive, basically. Yasratcha becomes immune to energy decrease during battle. See, I'm telling you, bro, the energy decrease thing is gonna be a meta thing for a very long time. Just know that they'll try. Yeah, just know that this is where the meta is heading right now. In addition, when the skill ends, he creates a barrier equal to 70% of damage dealt by the skill. The barrier lasts for 5 seconds. See, this is where I'm confused. I don't really know if what it means by the skill ends, if they mean the resetting of the passive skill, and that's like the reset is when the skill ends, or they're talking about when the enemy dies, Yasratcha gets a shield, right? Those are two different cases, right? Because if you have it when the passive resets itself, that's basically the ult. That's when the passive resets itself. That's when the stacking and the resets itself. That will be pretty strong at Revolution 5 because you'll be able to use your ult very quickly, meaning that you'll be able to get your shield very quickly. However, if it is set by killing the enemy team and then you get a new target and then you get your shield, it's a little less strong, but it's still really good regardless. But the fact that you get a shield is very strong. But immune to energy decrease, I feel like it's the skill that's very not important now, but will be very important in the future. So I would just keep a lookout for this revolution because I'm telling you, it's going to be very big in the future. But we'll see, because I mean, there's characters that does energy decreases, right? Because you've got characters like the new the new Yama. You have the Kasano that came out as well too. I need to rainbow him, but it's gonna take a while, but I'll rainbow him. You also have the same thing with Traumaray, same thing with Eon, like some Ikwa. So don't sleep on those. Those are very strong characters that have that skill, but I know that's gonna be a thing in the future. When it comes to sets, there's some very interesting ones. So the most obvious one, okay, is the new Mago set, okay? Because the Mago set increases Mago's attack by 10% and crit rate by 10% until the end of battle, which is obviously really strong, and decreases the energy of the enemy, grants Mago's blessing, which is part of his passive, right? Right? And if you're able to decrease the energy of the enemy, your crit rating and damage increases, which is really strong because you want to have a large crit rate with him because he's an assassin. So he'll come up, do a stupid amount of damage, and then hopefully the crit rate damage will do good. Ignore damage, his defense is also really good. You know, you combo those two together, especially since he's magic. A lot of his damage will come from that, right? And then Barry Cell would be good for survivability, but I don't think I wouldn't really pick Barry if you want to optimize him if you're having him rainbowed. If I'm not going to lie, I think that he's not really a must summon, but I do think he's very strong. But I don't think he's strong enough that's worth for you summoning for, because I'm pretty sure, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, that the color that the Net Marvel was going to be focusing on is blue. Okay, because we had the way that Net Marvel is working their meta system. The way that I'm looking at it is they'll focus on a color consistently, and then at the end of that big color run, they'll release a family head that is that respective color. So last year in the summer, like the first anniversary, they had Summer Iqua, which was green, Ram, which was green also, and they ended it with Trauma Ring. I mean, Ram came out before, but Ram came out a little later than usual, and also he works really well with Summer Iqua and well with Green and Dorsey. Okay, so and then Trauma Ring came out later, right? And then afterwards, they did a lot of red characters, and then you know who came out? Gusan came out. Now they're doing a lot of blue characters, and it's pretty obvious based on the color patterns that they're doing their EX unit. The next family head is going to be blue. So the fact that Yasratcha is going to be green kind of doesn't decreases his value because he'll be a very good character, but he's not really a character that you should really be focusing on, in my opinion, right now. Anyways, back to the sets. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. Sorry, guys. Another set that'll be, I think, would be interesting for him. Where is it? Not. I mean, maybe Rihanna too, because you know he's an assassin unit, and I'm assuming that the way that it works is that the assassin, like the first hit, is gonna be the cat, based on the preview that we did. But obviously, I need to use the character first to see what's really going on. But if that is the case, and Days is the how it works, then Rihanna is also a really good set. That's like the assassin set. Also, another interesting pick, if you don't want to use Yasratcha as a damaging unit, but you want to use him as a provoke unit, then honestly, this set, I can't say this, I'm sorry, but the Wuyong World State, I'm saying it wrong, I know I'm saying it wrong, is really good because he increases defense, which is really good, okay? Upon successful provocation, which is the whole point of the Days ability, 30% of the wielders' max HP is restored, and physical resistance and magical resistance are increased by 8% until the end of battle. Max stacks 5, basically you get 40% magical and physical resistance with a 40% increase in defense for the rest of battle. So if you want Yasratcha to be like a tank, more so than a damage dealing unit, then that would honestly be a pretty good set to use, in my opinion. Another set that might be pretty useful would be the actually both of these sets actually. Actually no, I was gonna say if this was physical. That I'm lying. Don't do this set because it's a physical fierce. But this guy would lose a little bit of value because it can interact with the status immunity, but with Lazy is actually a really good set to use as well. You could also use Celesta, you know, if you want some extra survivability, but I think that the biggest one that I would really think about would be the Mago set because it's literally built for that. And then if you don't want to use him as a damage dealing but as a tank, then this set would be very good. If you don't have him rainbowed and you want to use him as a tank, this set might be interesting or to experiment on, I think. And Rahana is an assassin unit. Obviously, usually it works well, but I'll have to use this character a bit more to see if Days really comes first, and it's not like a basic attack, right? But overall, those are my impressions of the character. I'm going to rainbow him probably like tomorrow or something. I don't know. We'll see. But so far he seems really good. I think he's a little bit better than Yama, but I think Yama is kind of slept on right now. But I would honestly hold your stones unless if you really want an assassin green unit and this guy's your favorite character. But I think he's a pretty safe skip. I don't think he's broken, but I do feel the power creep going with the game right now. There's definitely a upcline in quality of characters right now. But I would just hold this down in my opinion and wait a little bit.